Love is powerful. We all crave it. We all thrive on it. But can there be such a thing as too much love? Shavuot gives us a surprising angle on that question, going all the way back to the moment the Torah was given 3,338 years ago, Matan Torah. The Torah describes that when the Jewish people gathered at Mount Sinai, Moses brought the people out of the camp to meet God, and they stood at the bottom of the mountain. The Talmud adds a dramatic layer. Rav Abdimi teaches that the people didn't just stand at the foot of the mountain. They actually stood beneath the mountain. God lifted the mountain, he says, over their heads like a giant barrel, and God said to them, if you accept the Torah, great, but if not, this will become your burial place. Rav Acha then comments and says that this creates a problem. For if the Torah was accepted under pressure, can we really be held responsible for keeping it? He says from here there is a substantial caveat to the obligation to fulfill the Torah. The Jewish people can claim that they were coerced into accepting the Torah, and it's therefore not binding. Rava then answers and he says that centuries later, in the time of Achashverosh and Esther, the story of Purim, the Jewish people accepted the Torah again, but this time it was freely, willingly, and with full commitment. As the verse says in Megillas Esther, Kimu v'kiblu haYehudim. The Jews ordained what they had already taken upon themselves through coercion at Sinai. Now this entire piece of Talmud is very striking. It sounds like the ultimate ultimatum, Torah or death. But that raises a real question. Why would God begin his relationship with us, the Jewish people, through coercion? What kind of bond is built on such pressure? The mystics open a deeper window. They explain that the mountain held over the people wasn't a physical threat. It was an overwhelming revelation of divine love, a love so intense, so all-encompassing, that saying no simply was not possible. Imagine standing in the presence of pure truth, pure goodness, pure clarity. Imagine feeling seen, known, and cherished by the creator of the universe. Who could resist this? Who wouldn't say yes? The option of no was removed because of this overwhelming love. But there's a challenge hidden inside that kind of love. What happens when the intensity fades? What happens when the revelation quiets down? When life becomes confusing? When God feels distant? That was the reality in the days of Mordechai and Esther. There were no open miracles, no thunder, no mountain of love hovering above them. On the contrary, it was more like danger, fear, and uncertainty. And yet, in that darkness, with Mordechai as their leader and their inspiration, the Jewish people chose God again. Not because they were overwhelmed, not because they were swept up in a moment, but because the bond was real. Because even when the love is not blazing, the relationship remains unbreakable. He is our Father and we are his children. He is our King and we are his people. That connection doesn't depend on any fireworks. Every year on Shavuot, we don't just commemorate a moment in history. We receive a fresh infusion of that original energy, the clarity, the love, the closeness of Mount Sinai, but in a way that we could integrate it into our lives. So as we stand at our own personal Sinai this year, in the synagogue listening to the Ten Commandments, let's take a moment to appreciate the magnitude of this gift, the love that Hashem is showing us, and let's channel it into something practical. Choose one small step, a few minutes of daily or weekly Torah study, a new mitzvah, a deeper commitment, something sustainable, something real, something that turns inspiration into transformation. I wish you a Kabbalah Torah b'simcha b'pnimius, to receive the Torah with joy and to internalize it. Good Yom Tif and good Shabbos.